and Turtle Boy is wrong,
right,
then why would
he wasn't.
Why would you try to stop Turtle Boy so much? Why would you care?
Yeah.
It's like Tom Cruise said, and Colonel Nathan Jessup and A Few Good Men. If Private Santiago was being transferred off that base, he would have packed everything, but he didn't pack a thing.
Didn't make a phone call.
Didn't make a phone call.
Didn't call one of his buddies and say, "Hey,
didn't
could you
do
pick
anything.
me up at the airport?"
Didn't do anything.
Didn't do anything
because he wasn't being. It just came. It just didn't make sense.
Yeah.
It didn't make logistical sense.
Didn't make a phone call.
Hadn't packed
and everything
the thing.
was neatly
right
in his footlocker.
Right, exactly. And if that's the case, then why is Turtle Boy such a threat? Turtle Boy would not be a threat.
Yeah.
If he didn't have facts.
Yeah.
If he didn't have actual information that he had gotten and presented to the public, they would have never done that. And if Turtle Boy wasn't right about these facts that he had revealed, then Karen Read would have been guilty because they would have never paid it any mind. But because she was innocent and because Turtle Boy was right, look what they tried to do. Even when they couldn't get an acquittal in the first trial or conviction in the first trial, they looked at that, confused the verdict slip, declared a mistrial, got the jury out the door. Even when they took it to the appellate court in Boston, they wouldn't even open the thing back up. They tried everything they could to convict Karen Read, everything they could to keep this perception going that Karen Read was as guilty as the Commonwealth said in their own theory, and none of it worked.
Yeah. Let's pause for a break real quick. Let me just do this. I want to thank everybody for coming in. This is the second episode of the Sunday 617, where we talk about local issues that are going on here in the state of Massachusetts. Obviously, we're talking about some post-trial Karen Read. Mark MazzaMedia joining me here live in the studio today. He was a big supporter of Karen Read. He has his own YouTube channel. You can check him out at MazzaMedia on YouTube and on X as well at MazzaMedia. I want to get to this chat, and I also want to talk about a little bit about the public perception of how different this would have been for Karen if there wasn't the Free Karen Read movement, if there wasn't a Turtle Boy, if there wasn't the creators like myself and yourself and all the other amazing people that got behind this and pushed this movement, how different it would be for her. But Pokey, $5 checking in saying, will the kids get scholarships due to them being children of a police officer, or is just only that they're unalived in the line of duty? Honestly, Pokey, I don't know. I know Nan Gallagher here is in the chat. That might be something that she could answer per being a lawyer, but I don't know how that works. I don't know. I'm
sure something will probably be done for those kids to help them out. And I heard earlier Karen Read has those kids in a trust, I believe, as well. So
yes,
someone at some point will probably create a fund and help them out, which would be fantastic for those kids.
Yeah, no, I agree as well too. So let's talk about the basically the public perception, or just the public support for Karen Read. You know, I've told this story many of times. The first time that I ever got to go in and sit in court, which the photo's right there. And a wonderful photo, by the way. And I don't know who took that. I think maybe who took that photo? I think Kelly Reed. Kelly Reed took that photo.
Nice.
And I think Kelly Reed took that photo. But I remember Alan Jackson saying, it was with Will the Glairer. We got to sit in court on the same day, which is ironic because I sat in on a Wednesday during the first trial, and I sat in on a Wednesday during the retrial, which was weird that happened. But anyway, Alan Jackson came over and said to us, look, you know, we really appreciate everything that you have been doing as far as the content creators and all the people in the Free Karen Read movement that have come out and supported Karen, because this would be a completely different trial for Karen. I think in the sense that I can take away from that is publicly, morale, that morale support. You know, you're up against a state and a commonwealth that literally wants to drive a stake through your proverbial heart. And you have every single odd stacked against you. And for the public to come out and see this for what it is after Aiden's reporting and getting together, the Free Karen Read movement, the fundraising. Nick Rocco starts the fundraising. Then you have another wonderful group of people like me and yourself and all the other creators that jumped in on this. Then you start getting the lawyers now behind it, and retired law enforcement that is saying something's crazy here. So you have this amazing group of people that come in to support.
Boots on the ground.
If we didn't have that, I think it would be a completely different trial for Karen.
Right. Oh, it would have been. Well, I think too, from not only just the morale standpoint, from the financial standpoint, when we look at like I cited earlier on the show, Nick's original hope was $5,000,
$5,000,
and then millions of dollars pouring in, and what's crazy is just the financial. I mean, you look at Karen's fund. That fund was around probably $500,000 at the end of the last trial. So basically, both times we collectively have brought in, in donations collaboratively as supporters, $500,000 per trial on average. Which is an exponential amount of money. And I believe that the total price tag for this was probably about 5 times what we raised, even though she has other means like Venmo and some other ways to get fundraiser money. But this was something that could have been very different financially for her. And I think that this was the biggest word of mouth campaign. This was also the biggest demonstration of what we, the people, working together and standing up for individuals against our government can really do. Not that I'm kind of someone that's all about standing up to the government on a regular basis, but I do think in various circumstances it is necessary, especially when you have someone like Karen Read, who was being railroaded and really placed in a situation for a crime she did not commit. And I think that this is what a true demonstration of power of the people is all about in this country, and really is the fabric of what our country is all about.
There's a fabric of Massachusetts.
Right.
I mean, it happened here, folks.
Right. Lexington and our founding fathers and all that.
The Boston Tea Party. I mean, it's here. It's here, baby.
This is what this was all about. We did, and again, this is what was great about this is that there's a great political divide in our country. There's people that are, Massachusetts, primarily a Democratic
very blue state.
A lot of Republicans, as well, in the state. And then you have independents, and then you have people that really might have political views, but don't have a political party. A lot of alternative viewpoints, whether it's the Green Party or the Libertarian Party or others. You have a lot of people of different backgrounds. I think what was so great about this is we had people putting that aside because we all believed in Karen Read's innocence, and we all wanted to support Karen Read. And financially, that was the biggest thing, is that we had the people, but we also had the people bringing the dollars. And with those dollars, she was able to afford what she was able to do because they were trying to run up costs on her, certainly in the second trial as well.
That is an amazing point that you just made, because I think what I saw here was a collective group of people that might have different ideologies and backgrounds and races and whatever it may be. And views and whatever it may be, everybody from all walks of life came into this movement with just one thing, and that was two things: finding justice for John and freeing Karen Read. And to put all those divides that, like you said, our country is so divided now with just the most minimalistic shit that people argue about, fucking Yankees or Red Sox or Pats or Giants or whatever it may be, or political stuff or race or whatever it fucking may be. Everybody literally put all that shit aside, and we just became one. There was no color barrier. There was no racial political divide, whatever it may be. Everybody just came together, and it was central in one area, and it fucking made it happen.
Exactly.
People from all around the world came here to the state of Massachusetts to show support of Karen. That was fucking awesome.
Huge,
just
man.
seeing that stuff.
Totally huge. That's what's so great about it. It was so well said, Brian. And that's what's so huge about it. It was just an absolute fight for Karen Read's freedom. And everyone was out there. I mean, unfortunately, I didn't get the opportunity to be out there when it all came down. But you
were there in spirit, buddy.
That's what everyone told me too. You were there in spirit.
You worked very hard.
I know. I was there in spirit. That's one thing I wanted to be, was out there. I was out there the last day of the first year.
I got lucky.
Yeah, I know. I just happened to have the day. I think I'd asked for a day off, and I got the day off. I was like, all right, I can be out in Dedham. So I got out, and I was there, and then it ended not the way we all hoped. But what's crazy is as many people that were out there at the end of day one, the last day last year, it paled in comparison to the force. You know what it was too? Because that buffer zone was kind of really destroyed. Mark Randazza, of course, Jason Grant, Allison Grant.
I just had them on my show. I had Jason on my show.
A few others. That fought that thing. And if that hadn't happened, then that would.
Oh my God! It would have been silent when she walked out, and that's what they wanted. That is truly what they wanted out there. But it wasn't going to be held back. And I'm going to tell you, I love the fact that so many things have come back around. So much circular things to me of my involvement in all this, and I'm so glad that at that moment when Karen Read walks out of the court steps, and it's like a fucking movie. It
Yeah.
looked like if you weren't there to see what I saw, it was like a fucking movie.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that in that very moment, I'm literally next to Tom CPU. Okay. And I got to share a moment with him, which was great because I'll be honest with you, Tommy was the first person that I ever started talking to in the movement or creator space.
Yeah.
He used to leave little comments on my videos.